So it appears that we have our favorite Protoss friend Duckload in that right position. And just as you were saying, Duckload did do the casual, nonchalant, split the probes as you have the feeling come to you.
And you know what? I just got a tweet officially from Reddit SC that said, Wheat, you are following the real one. So I am just dyslexic when it comes to Twitter, and the mystery has been solved. We are here on Metalopolis. Again, I'm kind of getting all tingly. I like these positions. You know, we could be going for the cross positions. A little bit different game can come out of that. But I always am curious to see Metalopolis. It's like, they share this third, and eventually a claim has to be made by one of these players. And if it even gets that far, it's just always awesome to see how each player deals with it. So I'll be looking forward to that here as we get Game 3 underway.
Yeah, and you know, I think that's everything you say is doubly so impressive considering it's Morrow. Morrow has quite a bit to prove in this tournament because he is the only infested Terran pro out there. He won the Gamescom tournament over Idra with Terran, switched to Zerg, and lost 20 or 30 games in a row his first few days playing, but continued to hang in there. And here he is in the grand finals, having 3-0'd many Protosses on the way to get here. And now he's tied up 1-1 with Duckload. Looks like Duckload is going to spot that Overlord, heads right on up to the high ground, and Morrow's going to be quite happy that he's still sticking to his gas first build.
Yep, and the gas first pool has been completed here. The pool's underway. Probe is going to steal away a mineral. Might even do a little bit of drone harass, as we do have drones put over on the gas. Meanwhile, we have got the gateway nearing completion here for DuckloadRa. Probe is going to be knocked out of Morrow's base. And he will go with pretty much that same build that we've been seeing out of him this entire tournament.
Pretty typical, pretty good stuff thus far. I'm just always so impressed the way that a player follows up this sort of build, because mostly players rely on a lot of units or that really fast layer. But with this build, you're kind of relying on very good timing, and by being aggressive and by limiting your opponent. Like speed Zerglings kind of limit a lot of the stuff that Protoss can do early, so it's a little bit harder of a way to open, but as we've seen from Morrow, it can be just as powerful as any of those other styles.
So we've got another pylon, and the Psycore just finishing up, and Warp Gate immediately going down. Zealot pops, instantly goes over to the choke, and we have some Zerglings coming down, and literally I feel like another edition of Deja Vu here, as the probe with some great timing detects the hatchery might be going down, but the Zerglings pop, they'll chase him away, the hatchery goes down, and just a great display by both players. That timing just impeccable, and Duckload, unfortunately, DuckloadRa not getting there quick enough, and he will be chased back to his base, and out comes both the Stalker and the Zealot, and he will chase these Zerglings away.
Now, normally this sort of push is so effective because so few Zergs will have speed this early, but as we see, that speed is about 80% done. He's going to try to regroup his Zerglings, and this can actually be a fatal blow for Protoss early on. Oh my gosh, it's going to turn out so terribly. This is such a great opening in a lot of circumstances, but you never really want to be pushing this aggressively against a Zerg who does have speed. We do see Duckload very impressively pulling back at just the right time. Morrow now has enough links to overrun that little force, but oh man, that made me really nervous when Duckload moved out, because if you lose that first Zealot and Stalker and you just have one sentry, you're done.
Yeah, that was sort of some Jedi sense here, and we do have Morrow moving forward. He's going to get a quick look at the ramp, chase out this probe. He'll take him out, and will he actually go after that pylon? No, he's going to go right up the ramp. We do have a force field cutting him off, but doing some good damage here. Might be able to take out this sentry, and they are going to go ahead and chase it. Zealot about ready to go down as well. The probes are going to have to be pulled here for DuckloadRa, but no, he will get them away. He may get this pylon, but what a great little attack there by Morrow.
This is exactly what makes this style so hard as Zerg, knowing those little timing windows. And Morrow just clutched that so brilliantly. We do see Morrow now getting a third queen. No Roach Warren, just an all-Ling Queen drone defense at this point in time. No spine crawlers thrown up. We do see Morrow having quite a lot of money. Might even be reasonable to invest in a third hatch in base. Looks like Duckload's still going to be investing in the usual 4-gate, but not going to be aggressive with it. Going to be playing this very slowly. Going to be thinking about moving down to this ramp, maybe expanding in addition to all this, but Still quite a little tense position for both players.
And we do have some more lings coming out for Morrow with the Roach Warren on its way. And kind of a critical time. I'm curious to see what he's going to do with these lings, or if he's just making sure that he's got the units on standby. Third Queen doing exactly what Morrow loves to do, and that's spread that creep out and give him that movement advantage. Here comes an army, and gosh, there are a lot of zealots here. It is a kind of scary army.
And it looks like there's the warp in right now. We have 18 Zerglings en route for Morrow, but wow, Morrow made way too many drones in the midst of all this. This huge counterplay by Duckload might work out well. Some nice force fields, but it looks like the Queen will escape. Morrow has lost nothing as of yet. Those 18 Zerglings are now beginning to hatch. And that was incredible defense by Morrow, and now surrounding with everything. Some great force fields get thrown down. I have no idea if he has enough Zerglings yet. Of course not, it seems. There are way too many Zealots on the field right now. And it looks like those 2 Roaches are the only thing that will be able to keep Morrow alive. More Roaches popping out. 7 Roaches almost done. Will Morrow be able to do a second hero defense? He's pulling those Queens back quite well. Those 7 Roaches have now hatched, and they make it down the ramp. He doesn't get another good force field up, and now we do see that the Stalkers are reinforcing.
This is crazy. He's going to get an opportunity to go ahead and smash these Roaches together back up the ramp. The Queen still has not died, and he is keeping as many of these units alive as he possibly can. Somehow, Morrow is at least trying to detract his opponent. Duckload still has a ton of units here, several Zealots and a few Stalkers, but look at the amount of Roaches that are starting to come out here for Morrow. He's got 4 more Lings and 2 more Roaches on the way. He's going to try to move again. He does not want to lose this hatchery. Here he goes forward, pulling his Queen from the main again. A lot of these Zealots already very much hurt, and the sentries and the Stalkers doing well. More force fields coming out, and the fact that he is still holding on to this is quite amazing. Not mining out of this space, but he might be able to finally stop DuckloadRa here in this attack.
I don't believe it. How the hell is Morrow not dead? He has no Queens left. His production is crippled. That hatch is down to 215 hit points. Morrow is just going to sack the Expo. He cannot hold it on, and there it falls. Broodlings come out. Amazing defense by Morrow, but he is just in atrocious shape. But I'm still so impressed at the fact that he is somehow still alive at this phase in the game. We do see Duckload morphing in more units. The Queen only just now starting once again for Morrow. Morrow looks like he is just retreating up to his high ground, and Duckload has complete freedom to do as he pleases.
Yeah, and he left that. I mean, he had the unit advantage that entire fight there, and just kept on pecking away, always warping in the exact units that he needed to continue on with that battle, and just made a crippling blow to his opponent. Now going mano-a-mano, fisticuffs here with one arm down at his side. Morrow is going to try to defend at his ramp as best as he can. Does have a spine crawler coming up, and here comes the attack.
Oh, and it looks like Duckload is attacking in a terrible position. Duckload's convinced he needs to end the game now, and now we do see there's Zealots popping up, but there's some great control by Morrow. Looks like he will be able to annihilate the Zealots. There's a big arc of Stalkers right there. Spinecrawler's doing a lot of damage. Morrow's still advancing forward quite aggressively. Needs to be careful about that one Zealot that's still alive on the high ground. And with that Queen dead, it means that, again, production has been crippled by Morrow. Drones popping in the fray. And it looks like the Spinecrawler, very well placed, is doing a good amount of damage. Headbutts 2 of those Stalkers to death. And I'm still shocked that Morrow is not dead.
I am just as shocked as you are, Day. There's 2 more spine crawlers going up at the ramp. Morrow somehow holding on. You know, it could be questionable about the attack there into the choke, but he decided to go for it. He did take out the 1 spine crawler, second one near death, and it is healing up right now. And we've got more Roaches coming out as the continued count of DuckloadRa is a few Zealots, about 5 Zealots, a couple sentries. The sentries have gone down in production, and then several Stalkers as well. So he is gearing up and just staying right outside this expansion. He is not going to let him leave his main base.
This is actually a very interesting position because it looks like DuckloadRa's convinced that this game cannot go into the late game, that he has to win right now. I mean, look at this. Duckload pushed up, lost some Zealots. We see no attempt to expand. We see no more probes being produced. And if we look at the mineral counts in the main, we see that Morrow actually has a few more minerals left
Yeah.
I can't believe that Morrow is still alive. And it looks like Duckload, again, convinced that he cannot win in the economic game. Going for the Stargate now. It looks like finally, Morrow is back in the game somehow.
And we did see DuckloadRa have to break a pylon to get back into his base, but that was smartly put there just in case he got counterattacked. Stargate going up, and instantly the Sixth Sense goes off. Morrow knows that his opponent has left his offensive posture, had taken out that pylon that was reinforcing units, brought all these spine crawlers out to the front, is now reinforcing with more roaches, and the second hatch is going down. Will he be able to recover off of this? I don't know, but either way, he has shown some amazing defense here in the finals.
This may have been the winning play right here for Duckload, getting this Void Ray up, completely halting all gateway production just to be able to start getting some sort of difficult unit for Morrow to deal with. Looking at Morrow's base, he is getting the roach speed. He might even invest in Burrow so we can go for a little bit more of an aggressive play. But at the same time, there's no anti-air anywhere for Morrow. Just that one paltry little queen. And as we see, second Void Ray now being chrono boosted by Duckload, spending all of that energy to get those out as fast as possible. And oh gosh, if Morrow just made one set of lings and just poked a little bit, he'd be able to spot it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's just kind of, it's just almost hurts to watch this a little bit. The second hatch is up, and he's thinking, okay, I'm getting back on my feet. But the moment he sees those Void Rays, he is going to know just how much trouble he is in. We have a queen coming at the hatchery, and we have a probe coming up to see where he's at. Here we finally do have the ling running in, exactly what you called for, Day. And guess what? That deathly burning that he felt, yeah, that was the burn of a Void Ray. So he knows exactly what's happening. The question is now, does he have enough time to react?
And it looks like there's the big push coming up right now. We have another queen coming out for Morrow. Queen just now finishes at the expansion. Does look like the big push from Duckload is moving in. And it looks like the roaches are trying to get into a good position. The Hydralis Den has only just now started. And oh no, the Void Ray is just begin working away at the spine crawlers. Is there enough energy for a transfuse? Not at all. They are now fully, maximally charged, and Duckload's just going to go for it. Target firing each one of those queens, and it looks like the roach count is very high, being microed extremely well. One Void Ray falls, but the spine crawlers are going to need to do a lot better than that, and with absolutely no anti-air, Morrow, oh no, a third Void Ray arrives. And it looks like the Stalkers are cleaning absolutely everything up. A couple of Stalkers, 2 Void Rays, and now the expansion is vulnerable yet again.
Yeah, and I don't know how he's going to come out of this one. He's got 12 more roaches on the way. The Hydra Den is done, but there is no sign of those. Maybe just wanting to clean up these Stalkers, and he is going to send some drones out to do just that. A pylon coming into the back so he can support and keep this attack up. Here come all the roaches. He will attack into the Stalkers, and look at just those fully charged Void Rays doing so much damage there. They will let these roaches go ahead and dart forward, take out a few Stalkers as well as that pylon, but what are you going to do? 4 Hydras coming out. Hydras will actually get melted to these incredibly powered up level 3 Void Rays, and so they are going to pop. Will it be enough as the Void Rays move in? Oh my god, if they lose their charge, nope, they one will not lose their charge.
Counterattack over in the main, trying to do a lot of damage, but it looks like Duckload is going to be able to barely defend. And as you stated, Wheat, those Void Rays tearing everything apart. The Hydras pop, managed to pick off 3 more, just now hatch, and it looks like will he be able to take it out? Queen and Hydra working away, and he does manage to kill that off. There are now 3 Stalkers and 1 Void Ray advancing, and Duckload, who has mined out his main, now has 1 functioning expansion, and that's all that he needs.
Yeah, and speaking of mining out, that is going to be coming very soon for Morrow. And doing the math, he's going to have to put his hatch down, and he's just waiting for the 300 right now because he's not going to have much money to spend before that gets back up. There's about a total of 10, 150, I would say maybe 250 minerals there. That's going to be real rough to work with.
Yeah, we do see that expansion hatch, about 500 hit points for Morrow. Looks like he only has 3 Hydralists out doing long-range mining. And as a good, bold Zerg does, he is making drones despite being at 29 food. In the meantime, Duckload is just continuing to make those Void Rays really, really some key brilliance right there by DuckloadRa to realize that the Void Ray was the unit that he needed to make. Very, very awesome.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, the Void Ray has been absolutely crucial in this sort of continued crushing attacks that he has delivered to Morrow's front door just consistently. And now he is just sitting back, making sure he's got the economy coming in, getting a lot of units. Well, Morrow really is just trying to get back on his feet again, as you mentioned, proxy mining. And this is the second time that he's been knocked down. And eventually it's going to come down to a TKO. In comes that probe again. He sees that the hatch was just about finished, and so I would suspect another attack here. We're going to have more units coming out for the Zerg, but I suspect that DuckloadRa will be able to roll over this completely.
Yeah, we do see 11 Stalkers, a 12th one coming in right now, 3 Void Rays, a 4th Void Ray, even has 5 Sentries in that mix. The Sentries are really the units that just tend to push things way into the Protoss favor. You can zone those Hydralisks so easily. And here comes the push from DuckloadRa, and look, Morrow just leaves. He doesn't even wait for the attack to hit his front door because 12 Hydralisks oftentimes can't beat an army of that size, let alone